Hi, welcome back everyone. Welcome to the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event, D.I.V.E for short, where our 49 guest non-guru status experts from all over the world have been sharing on strategies on how to monetize your calling. We are on day 9, guys, and throughout the 49 days of the Social Summit, our guests will be continuing to help you to expand your lifestyle, your spiritual business, and the planet with your sole purpose, with just one strategy per day. And so hopefully you'll take away that strategy and you've enjoyed the Social Summit so far. I will announce towards the end of this Google Hangout how you can get in the green room with my guests, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't joined us yet, you'll see my lower third. After this Hangout, you can go to www.D.I.V.E Live online and come into the community and get the rest of the strategies throughout the Social Summit. So in case you don't know who I am, I'll briefly introduce myself. So my name is Iona Mead. I help helping and healing professionals, service-based and spiritual business owners to achieve and maintain greater financial freedom and have peace of mind. So my very special guest, I'm so excited to announce Jim Kirwan. Hi Jim, how are you? If you can unmute yourself, I'll put you on screen. Or let's unmute yourself, Jim.
It'll take me a while to get used to this. I am super, Iona. How are you?
I'm really, really well, thank you. I'll give you a brilliant introduction. So Jim is the founder and former CEO of Tri-Sport and the creator of Get America Moving. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So he went to the United States from Ireland in 2003 to set up Tri-Sport as a specialty retail business focused on aerobic activities, walking and running, swimming, cycling and fitness, and triathlon. So he stepped down as CEO of Tri-Sport at the end of 2012, and he's so concerned about the many health problems facing America that he's now on a mission to get America moving. So at the start of 2012, he created, as you'll see in his lower third, www.getamericamoving.com, and Jim is so passionate about his new mission that he has been on many television shows, and he'll share that with you in a moment, and radio shows, including Fox News, Kirwan 4 and 5, a 5-part series on ABC. So we'll share a little bit more about Jim's first book, The Exercise Factor, and it's now available, and it shows you how to ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, weight, and current fitness level. So guys, if you have any questions whatsoever for Jim during this hangout, then please do ask them below and we'll do our best to get back to you. Like I said, Jim will be setting aside some time on his featured day. If you're watching this after, you can get a recording of the green room. So Jim, before we go into your strategy for monetizing your calling, I would love for you to share, I've given you a formal introduction, but just to share how your story, your purpose unfolded, and then we'll share a little bit more how you're sharing your gifts in the world. That would be great.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I mean, that was amazing, and you really, gave a real synopsis of my story, at least certainly over the last 10 years or so. But it really goes back a long time, 40 years ago, in fact, when my dad, who was only 47 at the time, died very suddenly from a massive heart attack. I had just passed my 20th birthday, so I never saw this coming, and it was a major shock to my system. And really, that happening to me as a 20-year-old is the genesis of why I'm so passionate about health and fitness, because I didn't want to follow in my dad's footsteps. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be fit and healthy as I had my life, and I suppose as time has moved on, I want to share that with other people, and that's why I'm on this mission to get America moving, and of course to get the world moving. It's not just about America.
Cool, love that. Thank you, Jim, for sharing that. And I can hear your passion, and as our audience, if they don't know, if they haven't got your freebie yet, we'll discuss how we can get that, and they can get that below. I'll put the link below. But before we do, you're saying that your dad inspired you, and sometimes the loss of someone or just that message from someone, it sparks something inside us. and at that point we make a decision and there's no going back, right?
I mean, that is right. It's funny, back in 1975 when my dad died, I was going to college at the time. I was in my second year of doing a business degree. And my dad had, in his last year of his life, had moved into the HR field, the human resource management field. It was called personnel back in those days. And it's funny, I felt the necessity to pick up the baton, and so I specialized in human resource management. And for the next 30 years of my life, of my career, I was in the HR field. Now, in parallel, I was involved in health and fitness, but it just shows you the influence of something like that when your dad dies, how it can impact your life and how it can inspire you. And that's certainly what's happened to me.
Oh, love that. So, you know, sometimes when there is a loss like that in our lives, we can take it one or two ways, and I really do feel, inspired by your story, because you took it and, like you said, and you ran with it, and so you're bringing that to our audience today and bringing that essence to the Social Summit, because it's about expanding your lifestyle as well, guys. And so your fitness, your health is really, really important to, we all want to live longer, but whether we're actually going to take control of that is a different, as much as we can, is a different story. So Jim's here to help us do that. And like I say, we all kicked off the Social Summit with a freebie giveaway. So you might have Jim's freebie already. If you haven't, you can get it below. So I'll put the link below. And it's your X Factor recipe for success. And Jim's book, freebie, it's a PDF. He says in it, there's some really powerful stuff, and it will empower you to control your destiny and transform your life. And so your fitness is one of the keys, because without it, what can you do if you're not healthy? Jim talks about his dad and the level of fitness, that we have. It does impact how long we have to share our gifts in the world, how long we have to spend with our family. So it's really important to start thinking about our health and our exercise. So would you share more on your freebie with our audience? Because
before I get into the freebie, I think it would be helpful to give a little bit of background into the book. The tagline of the book, and you did say it at the outset, was ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, your weight, or your current fitness level. And what that is saying to people is that you can do this. You can draw a line in the sand, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what weight you are, or it doesn't matter how inactive you are right now. You can draw that line in the sand and move forward. So that's a really important message that I want to leave. In the book, I describe 4 key drivers of success. And these are the 4 things that, in my view, that you need to have if you want to increase your life expectancy and improve the quality of your life, which I think we all want to do. So just very quickly, exercise is the first driver. Surprise, surprise. Nutrition, the importance of nutrition, and they're both equally important, by the way, exercise and nutrition. Knowledge, having good information. Being able to go out and source the right information about your health, about your fitness, about your nutrition is really important. But knowledge alone is not enough. And this is where the 4th key driver comes in, and I refer to it as the X factor. And in many respects, the X factor is the most important driver of the 4, because without it, unfortunately, you're not going to succeed. But with it, you will. You will succeed, you can succeed, and that's the big message I want to give to people. So, the X Factor recipe for success. The recipe is an acronym, obviously, and I'll go through the acronym maybe very briefly, but the details are in the free report, and there's a lot more in there as well. Would you like me to do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, guys, so I'm glad that Jim did do that, so thank you for that, because that I know about the book, and so sharing that is the segue into that. So the actual recipe is in the free book below, so that makes sense, as in you know, whatever journey you're at, you know, picking up that formula, a recipe that can be applied is really, really powerful. So we will probably touch on a couple of areas. You guys can get it below, and if you get it below and you want to come in the green room and you want to expand on that, then we'll show you how to do that towards the end of this hangout. So so the recipe is for an acronym. So shall we outline them and then maybe touch on a couple of pieces?
Yeah, okay, so let us do that. So R is for resolve.
Right.
E is for energetic. C is for cause. I is for involved. P is for project. And then E is for extraordinary. So they're the 6 ingredients of the recipe, and they all, like any recipe, you know, they work together holistically.
Yeah.
If you're going to be successful, and you can be successful if you apply these recipes. So, what one would you like to cover?
Oh, I'm not sure. I was thinking the project piece. That's what stood out for me, and just putting a framework. I'm somebody that likes to sink my teeth into, you know, a project, and so I know that they're equally valid. And being, you know, energetic and having that enthusiasm behind your exercise regime, and really that can really transform your life. But the project piece, for me, I thought that kind of puts a frame, and it kind of gets me more motivated. Can we talk about that one?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny you say that, because you know, the ingredients may not be all equally important. And if there was one that I was to choose, which is possibly the most important of them all, you've picked it. It's P for project. Yeah. Well done. That's very good. So what I mean by project is, yeah, you use words like organization and structure. It allows you to put a structure on what you're doing, and you organize it. So let me give you an example from an exercise perspective. Let's say you're starting out. You decide, I'm going to do, in 3 or 4 months' time, there's this 5K walk or 3-mile walk in my hometown. I'm going to do that. And I'm now going to put a plan in place which will get me from where I am today to where I want to be in 3 or 4 months' time. And that walk, that 3, whatever it is, that walk or run is going to be the project which gives you the framework, the structure, the organization to get this done. And successful people do that all of the time. And you can apply this, by the way, outside of the exercise field. We were talking beforehand about speaking, you know, the importance of becoming a good speaker. And if you want to do that, you need to start thinking in a structured way, and you put it into projects. I mean, you know, find projects that you can work on, and you can get better and better with back-to-back projects over time. So yeah, projects are incredibly powerful.
I love that. Thank you for that, Jim. And so, guys, what I'd love to do is know either what project you're working on now, and something that you want to actually put in place, and you've been thinking, you know, now's the time. It's, you know, the beginning of the year. Every year you come out with whatever it is, or, you know, you just don't follow through on it. So let us know what that project is. My last project, and what I had set out to do, was the Insanity, and it was 60 days, 63 days of doing that, and I did it 3 times. I wasn't successful at first. It's pretty hardcore, right? I think I got up to day 22, something happened, and then I think I got up to day 47, my dad passed away. You know, life gets in the way kind of thing, and then I did the 60 days. And so even if you've tried something before and you haven't put necessarily a project frame around it, but if you've tried and you think, you know, this exercise thing, I want to do it, but I keep putting it off, or, you know, the buns and the donuts and the whatever else keep, you know, calling you, just really coming into this space and owning the fact that you're here to expand your lifestyle, right, and expand your business, because you being healthy, a healthier you, expands your every area of your life, and you get to be sharing your message for longer. So that's a real motivator. And I know that Jim talks a lot about different things that you can kind of, what's your cause, you know, what other things that your why behind the exercise. Should we dive into that before we dive into your strategy for monetizing your calling? Should we dive in? Yeah?
Into cause.
Yeah.
So you know, C is for cause. So if you can find a cause, it's going to make your life an awful lot easier. My cause is my dad. My dad dying gave me a cause, which is now my mission, and it's a very powerful reminder every single day. But that's just me. But if you could find a cause from an exercise perspective, it could be relating to your kids. It could be relating to your grandkids. You know, you want to give them good example. Unfortunately, as our kids, you know, today, they're not doing the things that we used to when we were kids, and adults have to take responsibility for that. So you can find a cause. It could be your spouse, your partner, it could be friends, it doesn't really matter. Find a great cause to inspire you and motivate you, and that will make such a difference too. And when you kind of join a cause and a project together, I think you can begin to see the power of this process. I did it all the time when I was, you know, back in my days when I was a runner and a triathlete. I'd choose a project, a 6-month project, usually over the winter, and I'd always find a charity to raise money for. And because this was back in the 80s and the 90s, I had to go out to people at the beginning of the project and ask them for their support. And once I got that, I now had a chunk of money that I was doing my project for, and there was no way I was going to fail. There was no way I wasn't going to carry it through, because I had got all of these other people involved in the process, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100% makes sense, definitely. And guys, you know, it is sometimes it's putting another framework, you know, putting something else into the mix. And so it might be that family, you know, your family that drives you, and, you know, you want to be here for your grandchildren. I have a granddaughter, I have 2 children, wonderful children, and, you know, them seeing me working out and doing and being at my best, it inspires them also. And when you say about the cause, it really does put a fire under your belly and under your project. I mean, as Jim says, you can apply this to so many different areas of your life, and a perfect thing of that is the social summit is tithing 10% of the profits to the Vision charity. That's close to my heart. I did a skydive, jumped out of an airplane, 13,000 feet for this charity. You know, I'm terrified of heights, but you pushed yourself. So when you get into the space where actually I'm doing this for me, yourself first and foremost, but you're putting something else that drives you, is your emotional drive, because sometimes we need that, right? And it doesn't matter whether you think, oh, you know, I want to do it for myself and that's it, and you keep failing. If you do it and you put something else in the mix, like Jim says, there was no way he was going to fail because he now had other people involved, right? So I think that's really, really powerful. I know, Jim, your report touches on, and we won't go into these because we're going to respect the time. So in the report as well, do grab it because it's really inspiring, and you can hear the power because I can feel it, right? So he touches on the 5 essential stages of your new lifestyle mission, and we want to hear about that. You know, we're not just giving you a freebie and saying go away with it and see if you work it out. We would love for you to start implementing. Jim's on the mission to get America moving. He's very passionate, and the globe, you know. So Jim, why did you, we won't go into the 5 stages, but why did you create that? Why did you put that in there? Do you think that it's really needed to help people see how important it is?
Yeah, absolutely, because unfortunately I have over the years, and I have a lot of experience in working with people, I've seen what works and I've seen what fails. And what I've described in the book in a lot of detail, but in the freebie in some considerable detail, is what you need to do. And there are 5 stages in the process, and it's really important if you want to succeed that you go through those stages in a step-by-step approach. And it really is just putting some structure and organization on this process. Lots of people don't do that, and unfortunately they fail. But if you do it in an organized way, and it's the same, by the way, for anything in life. This exactly the same for business. If you're setting up a new business, if you're setting up a new project, if you want to become a good speaker, if you want to get on TV or whatever it is, this is the approach that you have to take. And by the way, let me just say, I mentioned at the start that I have 30 years of experience in human resource management. Most of that was dealing with performance management. That was my area of specialty.
Right.
I'm bringing that, if you like, to the table in the exercise factor and in the X factor recipe for success.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that kind of sparks an idea from me, because I think sometimes when we're on a new journey, say you're starting out and you want to fulfill your life's purpose and you're not sure what your calling is, and sometimes people think that they might have to start from scratch. You bring whatever is your big vision and mission, you bring everything that you've had to the mix, right? You know, what's worked and what hasn't worked, that's still a lesson that you can learn from. So you're not starting from scratch. So, think about that. So Jim's bringing that 30 years experience, and I love that, Jim, because we're going to talk about now your strategy for monetizing your calling, and I know that you're really passionate. And one of the things that I'm going to let Jim explain what his strategy is. One of the things that I really notice about Jim, and you might notice as well, is how passionate he is. He's got that mission, and I'm that big vision and mission purposepreneur, and I've got my big vision and mission, and that's when the energy comes, and that's when you want to start putting the exercise in, because you want to live longer, because you want to do this stuff. But your strategy for monetizing your calling, can you just share with our audience how you do that, or how you've done that, and how you continue to do that, get on those radio shows and all that great stuff? That'd be fantastic.
Well, if I want to get America moving, if I want to get anybody moving, it could be get Britain moving or get Ireland moving, whoever it is, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I have to be an effective communicator. I have to get my message out there. And I'll be honest and say that 5 or 6 years ago, I think I was a reasonable communicator, but I wasn't good in front of big audiences, large groups. I'd get very nervous, and it made me uncomfortable, and I tended to shy away from it. So I recognized that if I really wanted to follow through with my mission, that I was going to have to overcome this weakness that I had. And so the strategy is how to become an effective communicator. And it's not something that you're going to do overnight. You're not going to be perfect, and I'm certainly far from the finished article, but you have to go through it in a sort of step-by-step, day-by-day, week-by-week process. And in many respects, I'm applying my own X-Factor recipe to my ability to become an effective speaker. So over time, I've put myself out there. I go to the edge. I have gone on TV, and I was so nervous the first time, and I was nervous the second time and the third time, and I'm going to be nervous the next time. But that's okay, because I'm now more in control, and I plan and I prepare and I practice. I mentioned, I'm going to rehearse. I have a TV show coming up on Thursday, and I go about my things now in a structured, organized way. So the power of effective communication, really important, but going at it in a sort of a strategic way to get better at what you're doing, but not to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a superstar. It's about being yourself and getting the word out there. And I think people will resonate with you if you've got that passion.
Yeah, I love it.
Question.
Yeah. Most. Oh gosh, thank you. There's so many nuggets there, and I always say that I'm a recovering perfectionist. I used to say that I was recovering, then I said I'd recovered, doing the social summit, I'm still recovering, right? So, and Jim shares with us, and really open, thank you, Jim, because sometimes when you see us here, it's like, gosh, you know, they're doing this, but I am new to Google Hangouts. I didn't even like getting in front of a camera. And so, you know, and you going on radio shows and TV and all that stuff, and you have those butterflies in your belly, but the more you practice, the more you don't expect yourself to know everything all at once, the more you kind of relax and ease into it. And when you tap into what your big mission is, you're willing to, like Jim says, go out on the edge. You're willing to step out there. You're willing to put yourself out there and share, because it's bigger than you, right? So I know that my big vision and mission is bigger than me. So if I can help my guests and help Jim to help you, our audience, then my work's done. So I will do whatever that takes. And it does take practice, and it does take time, but it is worth it. And like you said, Jim, in your report, that it can help you to control your destiny, right? Help you to control your life. And it really can be that powerful, but you have to choose that, right?
Let me give you a very quick example. About a year, maybe 18 months ago, I joined this 30-day video challenge. So the challenge was to create a short video 30 days in a row. Now, I was absolutely horrific at it in the first video. By the 30th day, I wasn't great, but I was an awful lot better, and I was comfortable. You know, I had my iPhone, and I was able to speak, and I just got better at it. And so what I'm saying to you is that if you go at something, you know, look at it as a project over a period of time. Don't expect to be brilliant, but just practice, 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 practice. Eventually, you will get there, and you will become, you know, very good. If not brilliant or great, you will get very good relative to where you came from. And so, guys, you can do this. I know you can. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for that. And so we'd love to know, you know, do leave your comments, do get into the room, and I'll let you know how to do that in just a second. So I want to speak to, I keep mentioning my big vision and mission, and if you don't know and you haven't been to the Social Summit as yet, or you're new to me, it is about reaching and teaching helping professionals and healing professionals to be in service to their divine tribe, and to do that in a way that feels authentic to them, right? So you're on this big journey and you don't know where to go. Well, we've created a space, and I'll be interviewing Jim, and I'm interviewing all of my guests, and we've created a mastermind, private mastermind community, and I'm putting all of the interviews in there. So if you click on the link below, I'll let you know how you can get into the green room with Jim. It's for everybody that, and I say this, Jim, because not everybody that comes to the Social Summit will be ready. Not everybody will make that decision. So Jim's given you some great ideas about business, about fitness. Not everybody's going to run from here and say, you know, I want to put my project and I'm going to put, you know, do this for a cause. But those of you who are ready, and if you know anything about the 80-20 rule, you know, that's probably 20% of the people that come to the Social Summit. I'm hoping that that is you, and I'm hoping that we might up that number. But, you know, if you're ready to learn how to fulfill your life's purpose and get paid in the process, do click and check out. You know, there's bonus gifts on that page. There's the live green rooms on that page. We're going to be talking to all of the people that come to the Social Summit and are ready to upgrade and get into the live green room. We're going to be talking about your fitness and your project. What is your project? Because we want to hear what that is, because it is important to get yourself moving and put that cause in your life. So we're spreading that vibration, we're raising our vibration, allowing that to happen for ourselves and for our loved ones, because it's important. And so I just say, you know what, we only get one life. Jim's father sadly passed away, and he took that and he ran with it. My dad passed away. I was there, and I don't want to get emotional, but you know, when you see or you're around and you have that loss, you start to take life more seriously. And hopefully, you know, you've not had that big loss, but you know, don't wait for something to happen for you to take care of yourself and take care of your health. Do it now and get around the right people. Jim's going to be in the green room to answer your questions live. All of my guests are going to be in the green rooms throughout the Social Summit. It's so powerful just to get around the right people, like-minded people who want to take their journey and are serious about implementing whatever it is to expand your lifestyle, your spiritual business, and the planet with your soul purpose. I hope to see you in the green room, guys. So is there anything that you'd like to add before we wrap up, Jim?
Well, let me leave everybody with my motto, which is you don't have to be fit and healthy to start, but you do have to start to be fit and healthy.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Guys, I shall see you in the green room. Come and join us. Click on the link below. Grab Jim's freebie, because we want to be discussing that. We want to take this conversation further. And I will be bringing you my next guest expert in day 10 of the Social Summit, where we share another strategy for monetizing your calling. Take care, guys.